everybody, it's Friday morning about 9:05 a.m. and let's do an update on today's severe weather risk. Overall, our thinking has not changed a whole lot over the last 12 hours or so. We're still expecting a pretty busy evening across the area, but even before this morning is through, some wet weather will be a possibility. Let's start with the radar loop across the region this morning. Pretty impressive lightning display out across southeast Michigan, northwest Ohio, into parts of Indiana. All of this is non-severe, but very prolific lightning-producing downpours moving through the Toledo and Fort Wayne areas right now. Now, I'm expecting this to weaken as it makes the trip across I-80 and I-90 in northern Ohio over the next several hours, but still, this might bring us some wet weather with some rumbles of thunder as we head towards lunchtime today, around 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., that will be a possibility and something, of course, we'll be keeping an eye on. Now, of course, we've had very comfortable air over the last few days. The dew points have been quite low, but the more moisture-laden air is not far to our west. Our dew point here locally up to 54, but in Cincinnati it's 61. And look at these mid-70s dew points out across parts of the Corn Belt this morning. This more humid air mass is coming east, and that's one of the ingredients for the severe weather risk as we go through the second half of the day today. All right, the overall risk categories have not changed since yesterday from the Storm Prediction Center. From I-77 on west, basically, so including Canton and Akron and out towards Mansfield, Mount Vernon, Columbus, Lima, and Dayton, it's an enhanced risk, basically a 3 on a 1 to 5 scale. In our local television viewing area, we're in what we call the slight risk of severe weather. That's like a 2 on a 1 to 5 risk scale. So overall, the big picture has not really changed much since yesterday. Let's talk about the timing. Something else that has not changed a whole lot, if you've been paying attention to forecasts since 24 hours ago. We've been talking about how this is mostly a late afternoon and evening affair, and we really want to emphasize the evening part of this. The first round of showers, again, this big, impressive-looking line in northwest Ohio, likely to weaken as it comes east, but this first line can still impact us around midday. This is the simulated radar at noon, 1 p.m., and then rain chances will decrease. Now, I'm expecting a lull mid-afternoon into late afternoon. So this is 3 o'clock right here. This is when the atmosphere is going to be trying to recover, reload. The atmosphere is going to stabilize some with this band of showers coming through at midday. And then it'll be a process. It'll take a little time for the atmosphere to become warm and unstable again. The sun's going to try to come out this afternoon, and new thunderstorms should develop by early this evening, 5, 6 p.m., out towards Sandusky and Mansfield and Worcester and places like that. And even ahead of that, we may see some isolated activity trying to develop somewhere in far northeast Ohio, northwest PA as well, right around dinner time. And then I'm expecting things to get pretty busy as we head closer to sunset and by 7, 8 o'clock. This is the simulated radar at 8 p.m. this evening. Clusters of showers and storms. These may congeal into organized bowing lines. And any of this activity, even though the radar is not going to look exactly like what is shown here, anything that does occur during this time frame early this evening will have the potential to bring strong, damaging winds. And remember that wind is wind. You don't need a tornado to have a lot of wind problems. And even though we can't rule out some isolated tornadoes with this activity this evening, by far and away, wind is the number one threat, and a 75-mile-per-hour wind gust can cause the same kind of problems that a low-end tornado can. So secure loose outdoor items. Be prepared for the possibility of power outages, so make sure you charge up your devices as we go into the afternoon today, because if the wind gets particularly nasty in some places, there may be some issues with power loss. So I think prime time here for severe weather will probably be between, say, 6 p.m. and about 10 p.m. Here's the simulated radar at 10 p.m. showing generally from north to south. We should start to see things winding down, or at least the process of winding down should start by about that point. And tonight at 11 o'clock and midnight, most of the activity will have dropped off to the south, closer to I-70. And speaking of I-70 in central and southern Ohio, activity may continue for a good chunk of the night tonight, leading to a flash flood risk to our south. I'm not real concerned about overnight flash flooding around here, But certainly in the evening, with any of these storms, in addition to the wind threat, which we talked about, and the low-end tornado threat, certainly some of these could bring some tropical downpours. So in areas of poor drainage and particularly flood-prone areas, we can't rule out some isolated issues with a little too much water at one time this evening. So again, be weather aware today. Keep checking the forecast. Make sure you're checking my feed. Go to my Facebook page. Don't rely on your Facebook algorithm to just show you some posts. If you go to my page, you're going to see all the posts. Follow me on Twitter as well, and I will see you on social media throughout the day and this evening. 21 News at 6 and 11, and weather for Weather Geeks.